Hello, AP students. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have your Chapter 1 short answer questions. So here we go. Number 1, what does the empirical approach to psychology mean? It means a study conducted via careful observation and scientifically based research. Number 2, why is pseudopsychology a danger to real psychology? And pseudopsychology, for the most part, the publicity of it causes individuals to be skeptical of good scientifically sound studies in the field. Number 3, what is the term for researchers who look for only evidence that supports their hypothesis? And that is confirmation bias. Number 4, which type of psychologist might work for Ford Motor Company to determine how to change the lighting in the assembly line, or to determine which questions to ask a potential employee? And that would be an industrial organizational psychologist. Number 5, which type of psychologist would typically look at how different toys are built and how to most fully engage children in these toys? And that would be an engineering psychologist. Number 6, which school of psychology is dedicated to uncovering the basic structures of the mind? And that is structuralism. Number 7, what was the process that Wilhelm Wundt employed when he asked people to respond to a variety of stimuli? And that was called introspection. Number 8, which approach would a psychologist studying alcoholism be likely to use to examine how the person acts when he or she consumes alcohol? And that would be the behavioral approach or view or perspective, depending on how you want to say that. Number 9, which schools of psychology are most and least likely to study thoughts and mental process? Most likely would be cognitive psychologist, and the least likely would be a behavioral psychologist. Number 10, who was the founder of psychoanalysis? And that would be Sigmund Freud. Number 11, what is the idea that evolutionary psychologists use for passing the best genes to the next generation? And that would be natural selection. Number 12, what school of psychology believes that the whole is larger than the sum of its parts? And that would be Gestalt psychology. Number 13, how did behavioralists seek to move away from Freud's psychodynamic theory? And this is how they did it. They wanted to study behaviors that could be observed opposed to the unconscious. And if you want to make psychology more scientific, it's a little easier to conduct scientifically designed research on behaviors than it would be with Freud's unconscious mind. Your last item, number 14, how has the gender differences in psychology majors made this a unique science? And part of that is the number of women. 2/3 of all psychology majors happen to be women. Thank you very much.